Hey, hello everyone. I hope you and your dear ones are keeping the best of health. I would like to thank you for removing your time out from your busy schedule to attend this webinar today. And I will try my best to keep this webinar engaging and fun for all of us. So today we would be speaking about the 5 essentials of learning quizzes. I'm sure many of you might be already leveraging some of these tips day in and day out, but I thought this would be a great platform to bring them all together for our discussion today. So before we get into the actual webinar, let's start off with a fun quiz and let's see if you can answer this correctly. So there is the question. So what do you call the space between your eyebrows? And please feel free to type in your answers in the chat window. Let's see if you get this right. Okay, I'm getting in answers. Okay, let's give it another 10 seconds. Can you guess it? And please try not to Google the answer. All right, all right. There you go. I've got some great responses. A few of them I've got this correct. So yes, the answer is glabella. So for those of who didn't know this, thank me later for sharing such a wonderful information with you today. Great. So quick round of introduction. My name is Rohan Bhosle and I'm part of the Harbinger group. In my overall career span in the learning consulting and technology services industry, I've got opportunities to support various global organizations and universities, helping them achieve their training and educational goals. Being a millennial myself, I invest a lot of my time in researching about the latest tools and technologies available out there in order to make learning effective and engaging. So just a few housekeeping tips before we begin. If you cannot hear the audio, ensure you have selected the right speaker for audio output. Test your speaker to ensure it is working fine from the audio settings option on the lower left corner of your screen. And if necessary, please dial in using a phone. And post this webinar, we'll ensure that we send across the webinar recording to you via email. So as an educator, you're always wondering whether your courses need to include a quiz or a practice activity, or is it fine to build courses that don't include tests or quizzes? Frankly speaking, the choice is completely yours, but providing learners an opportunity to fail at guessing can actually improve the learning quality. While if your learners know the stuff already, quizzes can be a great mechanism to kind of provide them credit for being able to understand and recollect what was being taught earlier. With that, let's quickly jump on to the topic for today's discussion, where I will walk you through the 5 essentials of effective learning quizzes. Starting off with the first essential, which is the quizzes should include relevant, clear, written, and understandable questions. So the quiz questions need to align well with the course objectives, and they should focus on the recall of only the material covered in that particular course. Additionally, the questions need to be pretty concise, and you should omit any unnecessary information that needs learners to kind of spend time thinking of, what is the correct question being asked. The idea is not to trick the learners, but in fact, assess their knowledge. So with that, let me take a couple of examples here of how we could help make our questions relevant, clear, and understandable. So talking about relevant questions, for example, if you ask, what are the branches of soil science for an introductory lesson that focused on only the type of soil, then it doesn't really qualify as a relevant question. A better and more relevant question in this context would be, what are the characteristics of each type of soil? So that's how we could make it relevant. And talking about clear and understandable questions. So for example, the question, what are your rights, might be perceived as confusing and vague since it doesn't specifically state which rights we are talking about here. On the other hand, if you ask what basic rights are covered under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is a little more detailed and self-explanatory, it becomes more clear and specific for your audience. So I hope this gives a good view of what type of relevant and clearly understandable questions we could use or try to frame in a particular way. Moving on to our next tip, as in the next essential that we have. So testing the learners at the right time. Well, the fact is that there's no bad time to quiz your learners. You could quiz them anytime, at the start of the course, during the course, or at the end of the course. But the key is in knowing what purpose each of these time points serve. Setting a quiz at the beginning is a great way to apprising learners of what is to come, making them curious and more interested in a particular subject. An introductory quiz can also gauge if learners already know about that topic, which is going to be covered in the class. If yes, then you might consider skipping forcing them through the course. So that helps when you have quizzes at the beginning of a particular course. And a quiz using, basically during the course can be a good way to assess whether learners need to be rerouted back to an early section to understand the matter in depth or much better, or just reinforcing main ideas from that section would help. Such quizzes can be planted every time after logical chunks of content is being presented. And a quiz at the end of the course can be used to assess learners' understanding of the entire content presented in the course. So these are the various places in where you could try and include quizzes or assessments. Moving on to the third essential for today. So answer choices should challenge the learners to think through what they have learned and how to kind of make these more effective and help them recall is something that we'll talk. And I'll speak more about providing feedback in the next point. But as far as answer choices go for options that will urge the learners to recall the entire concept. A limited set of clear and distinct answer options is all that you need. And don't be too inclined towards, using too many true and false kind of answer options, since they cannot actually judge the learner's knowledge levels precisely. Also avoid using all of the above or none of the above as options. For multiple choice questions, prefer to use serious distractors as well. So that will help gauge the learner's understanding. And when it comes to open-ended questions and descriptive answers, obviously this point won't be relevant there. Our fourth essential for today is providing meaningful feedback. So feedback is critical and has both motivational and educative value. Providing well-crafted feedback in the moment of learning is completely invaluable. Make sure your feedback is courteous and crisp, yet explains what the correct answer is. Even if the learner answers it correctly, your feedback can still reinforce why that particular answer is correct. And the last essential to keep in mind is make your quiz, present your quiz in a relevant and interesting format. So it is always a good idea to use compelling quiz formats to cater to varied learning styles and to engage your learners. You could evaluate different quiz presentation ideas ranging from drag and drop, multiple choice questions, true or false, flashcards, game show style quizzes, and there are many more types of quiz presentation ideas you could think about. And I'm sure you must be already leveraging some of them. So some of these formats are perfect for digital quizzes, while some of them are good in both, like for the classroom and the digital setting. Choose the format that best measures your students' cognitive ability for that particular subject. And another factor to consider when selecting a format is how much time the students will have to take to go through the complete test. Open-ended or descriptive questions might not be appropriate for larger classrooms or situations where a large number of students are involved. So this is where you could kind of present the quizzes in an interesting format. And I'll be speaking more about how we could do that. So with that, I have a quick poll coming up, and I will be launching that through the poll section in Zoom. And let me quickly launch the poll. So the question goes like, how much time do you generally take in creating 10 quiz questions? And what do I mean by this is right from going through and analyzing the content, devising or formulating questions and with options along with various distractors. So how much time does it usually take for you to develop 10 such questions? So yes, I'm getting in responses. Let's see. Let's give it another 15 seconds or so. And if you have any other option which is not available here, please feel free to type it in the chat. All right, so I think we've got a good chunk of our audience who have answered, and let me quickly show you what it looks like. So majority of our audience say it takes more than 60 minutes to formulate 10 questions. So that's a lot of time, I would say. And yes, I can completely understand with you going through the complete content and coming up and forming the questions with distractors will take a lot of time. So thank you so much for your active participation. And with that, let me quickly move on and tell you how we could save time in generating these quiz questions and at the same time make it more interactive and engaging for your learners. So we have a couple of products which are available out there known as Quillians as well as Raptivity. So what is Quillians and what is Raptivity, you may ask? So Quillians is the first AI-powered platform used for creating questions, assessments, and quizzes, whereas Raptivity is an interactive template library which will help make these questions and quizzes fun and engaging for your learners. So trust me, both these tools will make your lives way easier as compared to what you had anticipated. And you don't have to spend hours on content analysis and then framing your questions, or even spending time to develop fun and engaging interactive quizzes. And I will quickly walk you through how they work. But before that, these tools are so simple to use. For example, Quillians follows a 4-step process. You just have to submit your content. You choose the keywords that you would like the app or the platform to search and come up with questions. Then you can review those. You can review that particular content, and then at the end, with just a click of a button, you have ready questions in various formats that are available. So that's Quillians, and again, those questions then can be integrated in Raptivity and making them more fun and engaging for your learning audience. So why not I quickly exit my presentation mode and walk you through on how we could actually do that. So I hope all of you can see my screen. This is the user interface of Quillians, and such an easy interface and just 4 steps as we mentioned earlier: submit content, choose your keywords, review content, and get question ideas. So that's where your actual questions are generated. So let me quickly take you through a sample. So I'll just take a sample content that is already available here just for demo purposes. Excuse me. There you go. So yeah, we have the content ready, available. So this content talks about the geography of the United States of America. And you can see it is quite extensive. So you can have content ranging between 300 to 3,000 word count, which you can put here. And let me go ahead and proceed. So what the AI engine will do here is go through the content and come up with a few selective keywords, which will be then further used to generate your questions. So it'll just take, I think, yeah, there you go. So you have these keywords which are selected by the engine, just in case if you don't want a particular keyword to be used. For example, largest East Coast cities, and for example, Canada, just deselect them. You can add in your own keywords as well from the box here, or just select the other keywords that are already mentioned here on screen. And let's say, yeah, I've selected a few more. Let's go and select Arkansas as well. And there you go. So that's all I have to do. So for example, you need questions related to world's great natural marvels, Pacific Ocean, Denali, Death Valley. So these are the keywords that the engine will then process further. So let's go ahead and proceed. And the third step, again, as I told you, you can go ahead and review content that you have already placed. Or for this demo purpose, I'll just skip this and get to how the questions look like. And there you go. Just with a click, you have different types of questions available. And you can see the type of questions. You have short answer, multiple choice, recall type of questions, WH questions, interpretive questions. So all types of questions are available just with a click of this button. And I remember you just mentioned you take more than 60 minutes to do that. And this won't take more than a couple of minutes for you to generate so many questions. So that's how Quillen works. It can save a lot of your time in actually coming up with various question ideas. And the best part of this is, again, you can just export it into whichever format you want. So TXT, PDF, Word document, you can do that. So for this, I will just go ahead and take the Word document. I have this downloaded here. Let me quickly go ahead and open it. There you go. So I have all these questions available. So why not we go ahead and use these questions to form an engaging and interactive quiz. So this is the first part wherein we've generated questions. And now let's go to the other tool, Raptivity, which will help us make these questions more engaging and fun for your learners. So this is the interface of Raptivity. It consists of various templates. And you can just go ahead and select whichever template you like. You can first go and kind of explore these templates. But for this purpose, I'll just go and select the mountain climb template here. And there you go. It is so simple. The user interface here, again, is so simple. So this is completely customizable. You can change the background colors as per your branding guidelines. You can go ahead and change the images here, and then you can start feeding your content. So for example, let's go ahead and see how we could make the Quillen's questions more engaging and interactive. So that's where my topic goes. So general knowledge about USA. So that's my topic. You could use different fonts which are already available, or you can select or increase your font size. I'll do that. And that's where your first heading or the topic title goes. And then we have different question options here. It could support more than around 20 questions. So for this purpose, let's go and take a few questions from the Word document that we generated from Quillen. So let's go ahead and take this as our first one. So I'll just have to copy and paste our questions. There you go. I have my first question ready. And another good part about Quillians is, if you notice, it gives you the right answer as well. So you don't have to kind of rack your brain going through the content and then having your right answers or the distractions automatically done by the AI engine. So yeah, let me quickly go and put in the options here. So that's Pacific Ocean, North Pacific. Indian Ocean, and the last one is the Gulf Coast. All right, so I have my options ready here, and you can select the right one. So this is the right option. So we go ahead and select Pacific Ocean so that it will show you the right answer again. And then you come to providing feedback, as this was one of the essentials of effective quizzes, if you recollect one point that we had discussed. So provide back. So for example, correct feedback, you could say, yippee, Pacific Ocean is the correct answer. So ensuring you're again reinforcing the correct answer here. And for incorrect, again, you can say, sorry, but that's not right. So you can put in the feedback. And let me again go and take another question from our list. So let me check. Let's take one true or false type of question. So because we just have true or false, we can directly go and type in that. True and false. And just make sure you select the right one. So true is the correct answer for this question. So yeah, we have that selected. And again, you can do away with the other two options and add in your feedback. That's correct. That's incorrect. Okay, so I have two questions ready, and let me quickly go ahead and show you how they will look like once you kind of publish it. So it will take less than 30 seconds for it to come up, and it is so simple and easy when you use these tools, and I'm sure it'll make life way easier for your remote learning audience, especially during these uncertain times. So yeah, just wait. There you go. You have it ready. So that's our first screen. That's what we put in. Again, as I told you, you can customize the backgrounds, the images that you see on screen here. And let's go ahead and start the quiz. So there you go. Your timer starts. You could have timing options as well. And it shows you the total number of questions that are available. And that's the first question we have. So let's go ahead and select the correct answer and see what happens. Yes, I've got that correct. And I have the mountaineer climbing the mountain now to his first checkpoint. There you go. And yes, the end objective is the mountaineer will reach the peak if you get all correct, or you could set a passing percentage as per your norms. So yeah, for example, if I give an incorrect answer here, oops, I stay right there. I don't go any further. So that's how simple and easy it is to build your quizzes using these two tools. I hope they were really helpful. And one more feature I would like to say or kind of highlight here is this is completely device agnostic. It could be developed in one platform, and then it can be rendered to any which device your learners are using, right? From smartphones, tablets, desktops, or laptops. So you can have them used in any device. So just change the view. Let's see if this, there you go. So that's how it will look on a mobile device. So again, interactivity changes a little. So first we have the questions, and then you'll have the actual person climbing animation coming up. So that's how Raptivity works. And that, let me quickly jump on and yes, get back to my presentation. So that was it from my side. Hope you really enjoyed the session and it was insightful. And just in case if you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to put it up in the Q&A or the chat window, and I'll try to answer them for you. Just in case I cannot answer them today, I will be happy to follow it up via a follow-up email. And to know more about Quillians and Raptivity, please feel free to log on to rap.com or quillians.com. So you'll get more information from there. So I'll just take a pause and check whether we have few questions. So yes, one question says, so if you're using a different LMS, can you still use Raptivity and export to create creative quizzes and export to your LMS? Definitely. So you can publish the Raptivity the quizzes or other templates into SCORM, into a SCORM format, or even into Tin Can, which is XAPI. So whichever your LMS suits, you can publish it into that format. Yeah, I'm checking for other questions. So is there no free Raptivity with basic features? There is a trial version for 14 days, which you can sign up for. And post that, yeah, obviously it is on a per monthly subscription model that we have. And yes, for those of you who have used Raptivity and kind of have any questions, we also have a support team which can help you solve those queries for you. So you can write to support@raptivity.com and they'll be more than happy to help you out there. Can graphics be customized? Yes, they surely can be customized. Thank you for the question. And can these tools be integrated into your platform? Definitely. So we can definitely have them talk with APIs with any existing learning management systems or content management systems that you're currently leveraging in your organizations. So we can definitely have them integrated into any platform. And will this video be available for us to view? Certainly. So you'll be receiving the video recording of this. So we have a question on how much does it cost. So you'll get the pricing online on our website, but just to give you an idea, Quillians will cost you around $12 a month, and Raptivity per license per user will go up to around $20, $21 a month. Yeah. Okay, so we got a question. Can you tell us a bit about Exaltive? So definitely. So just to give you a brief about Exaltive, so this is an interactive video development tool. So you can make any videos kind of interactive. So this tool puts in different layers on top of your original video and making them more interactive. So you can have various questions coming up, which our learners will interact with. Hotspots, again, because attention spans decreasing, especially with the younger generation, only lose attention. So it's good to have an interactive video format, in fact, so it helps doing that. All right, I think we just about time. And thank you so much, everyone, for your time today. I hope I was able to answer all the questions, and obviously my in the chat answering many of your questions there. Just in case we missed out on any, we'll be happy to follow them up via email. And again, I would wish you all the best of health. And yes, we're going to have many more such webinars. So I look forward to interacting with you again. Take care and stay safe. Have a nice day ahead.